This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
When you get offered an extraordinary actress and a magnificent human being like Rachel Griffiths, you know what you do? You thank the powers above that you're so blessed to be in this job. She's in a
so dry. I'm like, are you a Kiwi? That is like, with Kiwis, you're like, are you taking the piss? I can't tell. It sounds really nice, but I can't quite read it.
Soak it up. That's from the heart, right?
Well, that was very beautiful.
It is a brand new series, madam. It premieres tonight, 9 p.m. on Channel 9. Here's a little bit of a taste for you.
Welcome to Sweethearts. How can we service you? I'm opening a brothel without misogyny or violence.
An ethical brothel.
A business run by women for women. At my brothel, you control who you see, what you do, and when you do it. I'm taking the sex work out of the shadows.
Wow.
Rachel Griffiths.
Welcome to the show.
Spicy time.
Hey, looks
Rachel,
really good.
I'm so pumped for this 9 p.m. tonight on Channel 9. It is based on a true story. That is like manna from heaven.
Just so we don't get sued, it is inspired by some true events. But the episode in which a speaker gets lost in a man's trailer, we take we're in TV, we make stuff up. It's but the DNA of the show is true. That this very educated, very left wing, kind of woke, middle class American woman. Yeah. Falls in love with a Kiwi. They're going to sail around the world, have this big adventurous life. They realise their son has really quite profound physical challenges and disability. They realise that America is probably not going to be very supportive for that, so they end up in rural New Zealand.
Awesome.
After inheriting his parents' farm, and she's just not, Cosy lives. I know we all talk about Cosy lives, but if you've got a kid with a disability, I've got quite a few family friends that, they're in that situation. No one is driving a car that is less than 15 years old.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
It's really hard. So she's had a few hustles and none of them have worked, and she stumbles onto this idea that sex work is legal and decriminalised in New Zealand, and she's going to do it better. She's going to do it ethically. She's going to do it...
What, like smart brothel?
A little bit of a woke brothel.
Do you know, I've never been to a brothel. When you go...
How many men have said that to me on my radio tour in the last 2 days, and it's no woman has ever said, none of the girls I've been, they're like, I've never been to a brothel, but I think you're my third man to declare on Sydney radio, and I think the lady doth protest too much.
I promise I've never, ever stepped inside.
I think now's a good time for Jess to bring in the lie detector.
Don't do that on radio anymore. How does one find out who you're paired with if you go into an establishment like that? Are things showcased, or is it like a menu?
That is one of the things when she kind of looks at how this business can operate better for the women who work, and it is things like, when do I work, how long do I work, because many women in this industry are either supporting themselves or their own family, and they're just making, actually, I did not realise how much I would have in common with the thinking of women who are working in this industry. Because every time I'm offered a job, my agent says, you got an offer. I'm like, how much? No, I go, how far, how long, how much?
Yeah.
How far away from home is it? Because most of the time I'm going to leave my family to make money.
Mm-hmm.
How long will I be away from them?
Yeah.
And how much is it to be worth all of that, to replace myself when I'm gone? I think any working mum kind of understands this. You can be sent up the corporate ladder, but it's like, okay, I get X more money, but I'm going to be away 3 days a week, and I'm going to be travelling, and I'm not going to be there for, my kids' vulnerable points. So we're all making this kind of decision. So that's probably the number one thing in the business, is the women who work there set their days, their times. They're not sitting around waiting for drop-ins.
Yep.
They build up their client through, we've got a digitalised thing. And the other thing is, if you look through the thing, thing and you just do not like the, Nazi symbol etched into the guy's head, you say no. Soz.
Doesn't work for me.
That's the first change I would make if I was a madam. First of all, I'd get very good, 1,200 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets.
Oh, beautiful sheets.
Who doesn't love that? But secondly...
I'm a paracool girl myself.
Oh,
Is that how you say paracool? Paraclete? Paracool?
Is that right?
I don't like the
Percale.
French. Percale. God, my brain. I'm so
That's
dyslexic.
I would flip that power because I don't know too much about brothels, but I know
Have you never been to a brothel?
No, there's an open day of a very famous one. There's an open day where you.
Where's that?
It's in Melbourne in Elstonwick. I think
is that
it's
the
called
one that's really next to, slightly overlaps a yoga studio? So if anyone's tracking, hubby on Live 360, it's he's really into yoga lately.
Yes.
I think this has become a thing. The gym is right next to the brothel, and if the kind of brothel goes up and over, when you look on your Live 360, where's hubby?
He's at the gym
He
again.
looks like he is pumping iron and not
Wow.
pumping flesh.
I love it. I love it.
You notice Fitzy hasn't declared anything yet. So.
Have you been to the gym lately?
Oh, Fitz loves going to the gym.
Have you been to hot
yoga?
I'm very flexible at the moment. Yes, you could say
Oh,
that.
that is good, Ryan Jones.
There is an old stigma around when you hear the word brothel. There's a lot of old people in the older generation immediately think of the sleazy side of things. But did you get to go into a couple yourself?
Okay, this
What
is a
the
true
environment
story.
like?
The only brothel I've been into was on my tour of Pompeii, when my private tour guide, because I think about the Roman Empire a lot, side thing. I actually think about it once a day. That's actually a true story. But in Pompeii, there are these penises with wings carved into the flagstones that point your way to the brothel. And the different penises have different wings for the different brothels, and we were chasing penises all over Pompeii.
There's the quote, Tom.
To get to the house of, I think it was called the House of Gold or something.
I mean, if that's
So
not
this-
the next,
it's an
if
old
that's not the
business.
next, if that's not the next Red Bull campaign, I don't know what is.
Well, do you know what?
Treasure
I had
Gives
a-
you wings.
I had a friend, Chrissy, who went on a trip overseas, a lovely family vacation, and he said, when I saw this, I thought of you, and he gave me a stone penis with wings.
That was in Naples, right?
I didn't realise it was such a
It's
thing.
a
The flying,
thing you can buy.
the flying member.
You can buy in the gift store the earrings, the winged penis earrings.
Wow.
And my friend bought some. I'm like, where are you going to wear them?
Everywhere.
She's like,
So
Tomas.
is that the equivalent of a red light over there, is it? That's the equivalent of a red light, is the penis with wings.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a universal language because, the Roman Empire was a melting pot. You had them from Carthage. Phoenicians are probably separated by 2,000 years of classical civilization, but people were coming from everywhere.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
penis and the wings was a universal symbol for, give you a good time.
Well, Fitzy went to, you were in Amsterdam, weren't you, Fitz? And you thought...
the story. Well, see, my wife and I went for dinner in Amsterdam, and as we were walking out, there was a massive line, and you couldn't get past this. It was like a bridge that led on to this huge event centre, and I'm thinking, what's going on here?
It's not
and
my Christmas windows, is it?
No, it's
really
not.
different.
They were all lining up for a sex show, and it was backpackers and tourists and stuff like that. But as we were walking through, we couldn't get through properly, and so we had to stop. And there was a group of Australians there that recognised me, and they looked over and thought that I was lining up with my wife to go and see a sex show.
Yeah, he
Which
just
you
wants it on the
obviously
record. In
were.
case you saw him that day, he was not lining up in Amsterdam to see a sex show. That did not happen, and it was really humiliating that any Australian who saw him lined up,
How dare
passing
they?
through, would think that is the man he is. 'Cause-
You're still clear, mate. It's okay. No one thinks you were lining up.
Oh, everyone's
You
doing
are-
lie detectors today.
Yeah, I know. You are a national treasure, Rach. We absolutely adore you. And Madam premieres tonight, 9 p.m. on Channel 9. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
into the
so
studio.
much. You guys are the best.
Thanks, Rach.
Sending Kate love. Love you, Kate.
Very kind. Awesome to see you. Can't wait for tonight. 9 o'clock, as you said, Fitz.